they not know, like, when she was gone, it went back to the year before she was in the league?
Former NBA star Gilbert Arenas issued a strong warning to Caitlin Clark's critics, urging them to recognize her impact as she drives record ratings, crowds, and attention to the WNBA. While players are in heated negotiations over a new collective bargaining agreement, tensions are rising, and some fear the league could be undermining the momentum Clark has built. Fans and analysts are now speculating whether she should start her own league, a suggestion that once seemed extreme but now feels possible. Like this video, and drop her in the comments if you think Caitlin should launch her own league.
Got a proposal from the league, which was honestly a slap in the face.
This was Angel Reese and DJ Carrington talking harsh about CBA negotiations before the season took off. And they were completely fried for it. Not because people think WNBA players shouldn't get compensated. Like it or not, they're receiving a raise. I mean, you can't have a league where Caitlin Clark makes less than the car wash manager at Bees. What surprised folks was the tone, the arrogance, the total lack of knowledge that they're not the ones holding the leverage. That leverage belongs to one individual, Caitlin Clark. And I'll save you the spreadsheets. This vid says it all.
I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sit out.
That's a possibility, for real.
It's fairly simple. When Caitlin Clark plays, ratings jump. When she's out, they tank. It's not a dispute anymore. The stats don't lie. But here's what's crazy. While Caitlin continues to drive all the momentum, the players have been even more aggressive. The pettiness and jealousy has reached unprecedented levels. And for a lot of fans, even certain voices in the media, we recently had the ultimate straw, the all-star vote. 9th best guard in the league. Don't attempt to offer me the excuses like, well, she's been struggling lately, or she missed some games with injury. Come on, this is craziness. And I think it's an activist vote by the ladies of the WNBA who simply cannot bear her success. It's so silly and it's so juvenile. Caitlin lead all players and fan voting in unprecedented numbers. But the players voted her not just outside the top 4. They voted her the 8th best guard. Not playing guard. This is the same guy that finished 4th in MVP vote last year. And her stats this season aren't far off, even with all the injuries she's been struggling with. And let's be serious, they definitely don't protect her like she's 9th best. She gets double-teamed the instant she reaches half court. She is the scouting report. And here's why all of this, and what Gilbert's going to say, matters. Every attack at Caitlin pulls her admirers away. And when you push those people away, you don't just lose viewers, you lose the possibility to transform them into long-term WNBA supporters. At this moment, a big section of Caitlin Clark's fan base doesn't simply feel alienated. They're actively cheering against the league. They want her to go away, form her own league, and leave the WNBA in the dust. They cheer when the ratings plummet. It's a us versus the mindset, and the WNBA helped create it. Now add this to the mix, an impending player strike. If that happens, those new admirers are gone quickly and possibly for forever. The individuals spearheading the push and talks could simply have the largest conflict of interest conceivable.
Came into the league, obviously interest went way up and some of the finances went way up, but there was some argument that it was a little bit of, a rising tide lifts all boats. But here we go with Caitlin Clark singularly being missing for the time she was gone and ratings tanking. 50% in some cases. And then also she comes back and reminds everyone how spectacular she is. And everybody's talking about the WNBA. So if you needed to sort of have it affirmed to you that it is just her, that the singularity of her is what we are talking about and her star power.
2 prominent actors in the WNBA's collective bargaining agreements, Brianna Stewart and Fisa Collier, also run unrivaled, a separate league with outside investors, a national TV deal, and most of the WNBA's best talent and emerging stars already signed on. So, while they're sitting at a table representing WNBA players, they have a backup league that might replace the WNBA totally. It all adds up to another reason for new followers to distrust the W. And while they love Caitlin, her supporters are at some time going to lose interest in a league that doesn't appreciate her. And it leads us back to Gilbert Arenas, because with all of this going on, the envy, the CBA posturing, and the conflicts of interest, he dropped the truth the W needs to hear.
Best
guard in the league, don't try to give me the excuses of, well, she's been struggling lately or she missed some games with injury. Come on. This is insanity. And I think it's an activist vote by the women of the WNBA who simply cannot stand her success. It's so dumb and it's so childish.
Gilbert has a lot more to say, but I'm going to wait here because this is the part that blows people's minds. The WNBA has the female Michael Jordan on its hands. She's bringing in record-breaking numbers, selling out venues, and pulling the league into a new rung of TV money. That new media rights contract, it's apparently worth $270 million a year. That's roughly $3 billion over the life of the contract. This is the reason they're renegotiating the CBA early. Yet, the pettiness remains. It's crazy. And Gilbert makes a fantastic point about their absolute lack of perspective.
Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. The owner of a competing basketball league is negotiating the salaries of players who are playing in the league they're competing against? But KC, Unrivaled isn't competing with the WNBA. Unrivaled was launched so WNBA players had the opportunity to make six-figure salaries that they could never earn in the WNBA. I'm pretty sure that is the definition.
This isn't rocket science, but still the gamers don't seem to comprehend it. Caitlyn's spotlight doesn't simply shine on her. It shines on everyone. Just look at the Fever. Even when Caitlyn's not in the lineup, their games are still garnering over 1 million viewers, more than double what most other teams receive. I'll get into why in a bit, and that phrase Gilbert dropped, when she eats, you all eat. It's hardly the first time a former basketball great has made some sense.
Just enjoy and go on with it. Like, think about what they was getting paid before they said, Jordan, you're the guy. What do you think Magic and Bird and all them making? Do you know how much Charles Barkley was making his rookie year before the TV deals that Jordan brought in? If you're making $40,000, every 5 months, and now you're making 80, then just do your job.
And vote for the person who got you there. Yeah.
But here's what Gilbert said that could be the worst blunder in all of this. The players' single biggest error. They felt they could go after Caitlin Clark without repercussions. That they could hurl shade, belittle her accomplishments, and whine about her admirers, and it wouldn't come back to get them. But they neglected one key point. So if you're sitting there beating it up and doing all this, all y'all become is loathed. Like, have y'all not paid attention? No one is caring about anything else. You want to beat on it, they're going to hate on it. You want to discuss, they're going to hate on like there comes a point where reality needs to step in. You may keep fighting the fight, and you're going to be the unusual one that looks horrible. That's it right there. Instead of establishing a hospitable environment that allowed Caitlin Clark fans to become WNBA fans, they did the exact opposite. They let their envy get the best of them, and in the process alienated the very individuals who were willing to invest in the league's future by repeatedly casting shade at Caitlin. They became detested by her admirers. Meanwhile, the Fever chose the opposite strategy. Their Now You Know ad communicated one basic message. Our fans don't need permission. They don't need to be reprimanded, converted, or instructed how to applaud. They're already turning up, and we're thrilled to have them. And that mentality worked. Even with Caitlin out of the roster, Fever games continue to smash every other team in viewership. For all their blunders this season, and there's plenty to pick at, they've done one thing correctly. They've welcomed their fans. The league hasn't. And now there's a us against them mentality that's taken over, not only between Fever supporters and other clubs, but between Caitlin Clark fans and the league itself. And that's where the players are falling into a tremendous trap with their CBA strategy. They assume they'll get all the casual fans back when really they're going to bail. And that has led to this.
I think we have to understand that when one player eats, we all eat. And as we all get more opportunities, it just opens it up for everyone else. And I think Caitlin has said that even herself in certain interviews. And I love that. I love that she's not the player who's like, it's all about her. It's not. She's giving love and homage to those of us that have come before her. She shares the wealth with her teammates, and she doesn't have to do that. So I just don't, again, I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game just as a lot of other players have.
At one point, it would have sounded ridiculous to believe Caitlin would depart from the WNBA. Every decision she's taken has emphasized the WNBA. That's why she rejected down the NBA All-Star Game three-point challenge. She wants her first three-point battle to be an independent at the WNBA All-Star Game. That's also why she declined on playing an unrivaled despite $1 million payoff. She wants 5-on-5. She wants true competition. She wants history. This is about legacy. But here's the deal. The tide could be turning. Here's why.
If you're sitting there beating it up and doing all this, all y'all become his head. Like, have y'all not paid attention? No one is caring about anything else. You want to beat on it, they're going to hate on it. You want to talk shit, they're going to hate on it. Like, there comes a point where reality has to kick in. You can keep fighting the fight, and you're going to be the odd person that looks back.
If you listen attentively during the tape, when Fever head coach Stephanie White is hammering on the officials, you can see it in Caitlin's face. The nodding, the body language, the attitude. She's not just listening, she's agreeing, and not passively. Between the heavy fouls, the missed calls, and the lack of protection from the league, it's evident she's fired up. And this wasn't a one-off. This was after a game where she got body checked and swiped at with no meaningful consequences. And it's no secret anymore. This isn't just about one play or one game. It's a league-wide issue. In fact, simply listen to how coaches throughout the WNBA are now approaching games because of it.
I never remember this being true before, but I think it is true for her. Never been true in team sports. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark more than Caitlin Clark needs the WNBA. If the league will not protect her and allow her to play basketball at the highest level, then she should leave and start a brand new league. Heck, I would invest in it. If you told me right now, hey, Clay, you can invest in Caitlin Clark or you can invest in the WNBA without Caitlin Clark, I would invest in Caitlin Clark's new.
Now, I bring this up in the context of a hypothetical new league for this reason. The officiating issue isn't only frustrating anymore. It's risky. You've got coaches openly instructing their players to be as physical as possible because the officials won't call it. That's not basketball. That's a liability, and the league still hasn't done a thing to solve it. For Caitlin, this puts her whole trajectory at danger. So far, her injuries have been minor, but a torn ACL or some other catastrophic injury arising from players getting too harsh or taking too many liberties would wreck her career. All the attention, all the new fans, the sponsors, the primetime coverage. None of it remains if Caitlin doesn't play. The W continues pushing a physical game as the incentive to watch. But if you listen to Caitlin, it's evident she emphasizes talent above physicality and meat when it comes to expanding the game.
I started talking to the officials in the first quarter, and we knew this was going to happen. You could tell it was going to happen. So they got to get control of it. They got to be better. They got to be better.
Can you specifically detail what you mean by get control of the game, just to be in your words?
Get control of the game is call the fouls that are actually happening on the floor. Right, and consistently call the fouls that are actually happening on the floor.
When it comes to the W, fans want to witness Caitlin's talent, not eye pokes and body checks. And you'd have to imagine a league that favors talent and theatrics will fare well in the ratings as long as Caitlin is there. Gilbert once again nails it.
The news a lot recently that the NBA ratings are down. Should we brainstorm a few ideas to bring back ratings into the NBA? What do you think?
I've been asking a lot of people about this and why they think they're down. I would say, honestly, I feel like the average just basketball fan doesn't understand how good NBA players are, and they think it looks like they're not trying. I promise you they're trying. They're just so good. Maybe people want more beef and physicality, and people think it's gone soft, but I think that's also because the skill.
So when you look at everything, you have to wonder, if the league won't protect Caitlin Clark and players keep undermining her, she may be forced to choose a new path, one where she's not dependent on a system that doesn't value her impact. The truth is, she has the platform, influence, and leverage right now to spark real change. While building a league from scratch seems unlikely, she could make a major move by joining Unrivaled as an owner and transforming it into a 5-on-5 league. If that happens, everything shifts, ratings rise, sponsors follow, and networks compete. Meanwhile, the WNBA suffers without her, and even the NBA might step in to prevent that loss. Unsafe play and poor officiating are problems the league can fix, and must. If other players can own rival leagues while negotiating with the W, Caitlyn can use the same model to protect her brand and legacy. Let me know in the comments if you think this is the right move.